Concerned with his Achilles. MRI is probably going to confirm what we think is already going to happen. So prayers tonight, but it's not good.
Sometimes, folks, there's just not much left to say anymore. There's just not much left to say anymore. I sat there. We all sat there. Every single one of us sat there and watched what happened. The horror of what happened. When I saw Aaron Rodgers go down for the count, all I had was just flashbacks to 24 years ago, 1999, opening day of the 1999 season. And we all know what happened that day. Vinny Testaverde goes down with an Achilles tendon injury. And his season was over, and basically the Jets' season at that point was pretty much over as well. Yes, the team that year rallied to win 8 games that year. They went 8-8, but they didn't make the playoffs. We could sit here and argue, hey, if the Jets had gone to Ray Lucas at that time much sooner, maybe they could have squeezed in as a wild card. But the fact is that was the team that entered that year with Super Bowl aspirations, and it is all gone. And it is ironic, and it was pointed out by Steve Serby in the New York Post. It is ironic that for the coin toss of this game last night between the Jets and the Bills, that it's Vinny Testaverde who is standing next to Aaron Rodgers during the coin toss. And then lo and behold, 4 plays in, optimistic, the Jets forced the Buffalo Bills into after they got a first down, into a 3-and-out. Force a punt. First play of the game. Breece Hall gets the handoff. First game back since Week 7 last year, and cuts it upfield for 26 yards first down. You think, oh my God, this is going to happen, folks. We got Aaron Rodgers. You got a healthy Breece Hall. You got, of course, Garrett Wilson. You got all these weapons on the offense. The defense we all know is going to be fantastic. This is going to come together. And then a couple plays later, it's all over. And as soon as he sat down on the ground, you're thinking, oh, please don't let this happen again. Do not let this happen again. Then he limps into the tent thinking, well, maybe it won't be. Maybe an ankle sprain. Maybe it's an ankle high sprain. And then when you see the cut, you're thinking, no, not again. Not again. Not again. But it is. And it is now official that Aaron Rodgers now has a torn Achilles tendon. The same injury that Vinny Testaverde had 24 years ago. To the day. And his season is now over. The silver lining, of course, is the fact the Jets won the game last night. They found a way to come back because that defense the Jets have is so freaking good. Forcing 4 Josh Allen turnovers, 3 interceptions. The fumble late as Allen ran into Michael Clemens and the Jets fell in it. Quinton Williams falls on the football. Jets recover. They kick a field goal. Took a brief 16-13 lead. And then we saw what happened in overtime. The beautiful punt return for a touchdown by the rookie Xavier Gipson as the Jets win it 22-16. I tip my cap to the Jets from this standpoint because they didn't give up in the game. Robert Saleh didn't give up in this game. He kept that team focused in on the mission of trying to get that victory, and they did just that. That's a heck of a coaching job. That's a heck of a job by the Jets as a team to find a way to get that victory. Because they didn't get much out of that offense for 3 quarters. Zach Wilson wasn't great. He looked scared. He had a big interception early in the game. He was backpedaling off of his back foot again. It was a lot of the same problems that we had seen in the past. And you're saying, what has this guy learned under Aaron Rodgers in the 2 or 3 months that they have been together on the field in Florham Park? And that has to make you worried, folks. It makes me worried. Because, a few things here. One, we all had this in the back of our heads, that this was possible. Everybody did. I never wanted to say anything. I had, people on the air. We didn't want to say anything. We knocked on wood saying, let's not go there. Let's hope this doesn't happen. But we knew there was always that chance that something like this could fall apart. because everything had been lining up so perfectly. You make the trade, you make the deal for Aaron Rodgers. He says he wants to come here. He is committed to New York. It's not anything like the Brett Favre thing. Then when he actually arrives here, he envelops the city. He goes to Broadway shows. He's at Ranger games. He's at Knicks games. Saying he wants to attend Mets and Yankee games. The guy is all in on New York, all in on the New York Jets, all in on working with a lot of these guys that were on this team from just a year ago and helping guys like Garrett Wilson get better, helping guys you would think even like a Zach Wilson try to get better. All in was Aaron Rodgers. And all in were the Jets, all in were the fans. It was going to be something spectacular, and instead, it takes a huge backseat. And this season's now something else. This defense, which was so good against the Buffalo Bills, as I mentioned a second ago, is going to have to be spectacular for the rest of the season. They have to be unbelievable. DJ Reed a couple weeks ago, before the season started, said the Jets defense could be historic, like the 85 Bears. They're going to have to be the 85 Bears. They're going to have to be the 2000 Ravens, because that's the only way the Jets have a chance to be a championship caliber club, because with Zach Wilson or Tim Boyle, who's on the practice squad, or whomever else they find on the waiver wire, that defense is going to have to carry the day. Do you think that the Jets, and look, all the names out there, these are the guys available. Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, who I thought retired, but apparently he's still on the waiver wire. Tom Brady, who of course forget Tom Brady. I've seen people throw out Tom Brady's name. That's not happening, okay? Forget that. Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Nick Foles. Those are realistic names of guys who are out there right now. You want to talk about swinging a trade for Jameis Winston? I've heard that get thrown out there. Winston is the backup with the Saints. You want to throw out Marcus Mariota's name out there? He's the backup with the Eagles. You can throw all these names out there you want to. Okay? And again, forget Tom Brady. All the other names that I've mentioned, are any of them going to, right now, elevate this offense to a point where we thought they could be elevated with Aaron Rodgers? It's hard to fathom, especially when you're taking somebody off the street who hasn't been playing, let's say like a Matt Ryan. It's hard to picture that. So, in my mind, the Jets are going to roll with Zach Wilson. They're going to sink or swim with him as their quarterback. So that's why I say it's up to this defense. It's up to special teams. The Jets have to win games like they did last night. They need the defense to be outstanding, to force turnovers, to create a short yardage for the offense, and they need the special teams and guys like Xavier Gibson to go off on returns. That's their best chance right now. When you take a look at, and this is another thing I want to bring up, who's at fault? Is the offensive line? Is it the turf? Well, certainly the turf, which is now a new set of field turf, because the old set was creating a lot of injuries. Remember a couple years ago during the COVID season when the 49ers came here to play the Jets and they had a whole bunch of injuries for San Francisco and they were complaining about the turf? Do I want to blame the turf? Possibly. Hey, look, the fact is grass is better. And any player who's out there, they quoted Breece Hall last night as well. He said I'd rather play on grass. Not to say the turf was the reason, but everybody would rather play on natural surface or grass. That's obvious. But when you look at what happened there at the start of the game, the offensive line is the problem. Because Aaron Rodgers was under tremendous pressure early in the game. The Buffalo Bills were right in his grill. It was kind of reminiscent of what we saw the Dallas Cowboys do to the Giants the night before. They were right into his face. And there's a picture out there. I'm going to throw it up there. There it is. Who are the two guys that are face planted into the ground right there? It's Mekhi Becton on the left, and it's, of course, Dwayne Brown on the right. And Dwayne Brown was one going up against Floyd, who ended up getting the sack, the fateful sack that ends Aaron Rodgers' season. Now, maybe you can put some blame on Rodgers, too. Maybe he held the ball too long. Maybe there was a missed assignment. Maybe there was a missed read down the field. Very possible. But again, it's hard not to sit there and look at this offensive line, which we knew was going to be a concern going into the season. And it's ironic, again, because there are little triplets over the course of this summer that, got to be careful here. And it was because of that offensive line. It was because of the concerns you had with the 39-year-old left tackle in Dwayne Brown, who didn't get back into playing or practicing with this offense until late in training camp after the preseason was basically coming to a close. Concerns, of course, about Mekhi Becton, who looked okay at right tackle last night. Not great, of course. Seeing him face planted there in that photo doesn't help. Yeah, this offensive line is a concern, and I'm still concerned about it. Even Zach Wilson was getting smacked around last night. I mean, even Buck and Aikman made the remark saying, man, it looks like Zach Wilson's limping around a little bit. This offensive line scares me from the Jets standpoint. Yeah, they created a lot of room for enough room for Breece Hall to gash the Bills for 127 yards. Unless this turns into, as I said, the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears, which is probably asking a lot at this point, to be fair. This is just another sad sack chapter in Jets history. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Why does this happen all the time? It seems like it just... Every single time. I want to be optimistic. I want to sit there and say, hey, this defense is going to carry us the rest of the way. Realistically, probably not going to happen. Look at that schedule. They get the Dallas Cowboys, who threw up 40 points all over the Giants, smacked them around. You're going to have Micah Parsons in Zach Wilson's kitchen all week, all day on Sunday. The Patriots, they don't look as bad as a lot of people thought they did or thought they would be this year. You got the Chiefs. Of course, they get Chris Jones back. They finally ended that holdout. He'll be back there on that defense for Kansas City when they come into town week 4. You got the Eagles coming in week 6. It's not going to be easy, folks. We knew it wasn't going to be easy to begin with, but now it's going to be even harder. Leave your thoughts below. Like, subscribe. Tell me how you feel after this. It was a nice win, nice finish to the game as the Jets get the win against the Buffalo Bills and a huge division victory. One that can a good start to the year from that standpoint, win-loss lines, but one that comes at a steep price that could and will affect this Jets season moving forward. Leave your thoughts below.